time for the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. The Mike Wagner Show brings you famous celebrities and amazing people from all over the world. Listen online at themikewagnershow.com and on Facebook, SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And watch the interview on YouTube. So sit back and relax and enjoy the Mike Wagner Show.
Hey everybody, it's Mike from the Mike Wagner Show, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at sonicwebstudios.com for all your needs. Looking at a professional website without breaking your budget, Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show, get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios, take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start thinking about retirement, who are you going to call about Medicare? Why call the best? Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group, specializing in Medicare, health, and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357. Or email to evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Evan is licensed in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware, South Carolina, and Florida. Also, the Mike Wagner Show can be heard on the MikeWagnerShow.com. Also, check our Facebook page at Facebook.com/The Mike Wagner Show. You can also download and listen on SoundCloud, Spreaker, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And also, watch the interview on YouTube as well. And coming next month, the Mike Wagner Show will be on TLB TV on video. You can also watch the Liberty Beacon Network.com. You can also catch the Mike Wagner Show next month and coming soon as well. We're here with a very fine gentleman who's been in the business for, I would say, about maybe close to half a century. He's Brooklyn-born, veteran actor since 1966, went to college in Marietta, Ohio. Then he later trekked on to become an Air Force officer in King Salmon, Alaska, worked for an oil company up in Williston, North Dakota. We'll compare the Williston back in his day to comparing today. And he appeared in The Sting and also is in Hawaii Five-0, Ben, and, of course, just countless TV movies with the Van Dyke Show, Survival Game, Matlock, Bustin' Loose, and more. I mean, he's just been about, oh, my gosh, I think I've just lost count, over 100 appearances, like 25 years performing, 30-plus commercials in years, 75 on-camera appearances, and got a book coming out. But ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, just going from Yellow Brick Road to Yellow Brick Road and just treks all across the nation and tells all about, here he is, the king of oil, Lee Paul. Lee, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Well, you've been acting since 1966. You went to college in Marietta, Ohio. You became an Air Force officer in King Salmon, Alaska, and at one point you worked for an oil company up in Williston, North Dakota. You appeared in The Sting and also in Hawaii Five-0, Ben, and quite others as well too. And you also got a book that's going to be that's available on Amazon in a few months. And before we get into all that, tell us how you got started in show business.
Well, that's an interesting story, and after that long introduction, it's almost like you've covered the entire gambit. But the truth is, I got out of New York. I'm from Brooklyn, and I got out of New York on a scholarship, and I went to Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. And the story there is that I got a scholarship in the chemistry department. And when I got to Marietta, I found out that because I went to Brooklyn Tech, which was a highly respected high school, public high school, but you had to take a actual entrance exam to get into it. And that brings back the first step, which was I went to PS8, public school number 8, which was the garbage can of the school system right under the Brooklyn Bridge. And I think I was the first and only person ever to be accepted to Bronx High School of Science, Erasmus, and Brooklyn Tech. So when I left Brooklyn Tech, I went to college for that first year on a scholarship, but I'd already done the experiment and every test for the first year, so I was really, really bored, plus the fact I was in a lab all the time. And I found out that the petroleum engineering department actually went out on field trips. And I said, hey, maybe that's what I should be doing. So I transferred from chemistry to petroleum engineering. Now, while I'm in the petroleum engineering department, I'm a young guy from Brooklyn. I think there were more people on my block than there were in the entire college. So I wasn't that impressed, except the fact I was only 16. So I had a lot to learn, but I thought I was a real smart guy, a real smarty. So what happened is that I'm chasing everybody. I'm chasing all the women, and because in New York, you stand on the corner and whistle as the girls go by, and I found out that this very attractive girl was in a show, and I didn't even know what a show was. In Brooklyn, you steal hubcaps and try to stay out of jail. But the truth is that there was a theater department there, and I said to myself, well, what's this all about? And turns out she was in a play called, actually it was an operetta called The Medium by Minotti. I still remember these things. It's hard to believe. Anyway, I realized that in order to get close to this girl, I was going to have to get into this play. So I went up to the music director, and he was like about 5'3". I'm 6'5.5" now. I was 6'6" then. And I said, I'm going to be in your play. And he said, oh, okay. So what happened was I wound up auditioning and getting the role, and the role was Mr. Gobineau, and the play's kind of dark and mysterious. It's about a couple who goes to a medium to try to contact their dead son. It's not fun and laughs, but I do remember the first line and only line that I had to sing. And if your audience can stand it, I'll try it right now. There, don't cry. You know that he's happier now than if he had lived. Now, that was my only line. Now, so I'm in the theater department, and I'm trying to chase this girl who's the lead. She's got a beautiful voice, and I think she went on to a professional singing career. I don't even know. But halfway through the run of the play, I'm taking my curtain call, and it's warm, and the light's on me, and the applause, and I'm saying, hey, this is pretty good. And she kind of steps in front of me, and I remember subconsciously pushing her out of the way like she was in my spotlight. But that was the end of the women and the beginning of show business. So that's how I got in.
And the size would prove it, too, just a little shove, and that's how you got in. So that is just amazing. I love that. And of course, this also took you on a trek as well, too. And you were in college in Marietta. And did you go get your chemistry degree after all, or petroleum, or did you continue acting and then get into petroleum?
No, actually, I got my degree in petroleum engineering, but in those days, it was called a Bachelor of Science in Petroleum Studies.
Okay.
15 years later, it was reaccredited as a true petroleum engineering degree.
Okay.
But there I am in Marietta, and I have an interesting showbiz story, if you'd like to hear it, tied in with that.
Absolutely.
Now, here's this story. While I'm in Marietta, I wound up gravitating to the local television station on the campus, and all of a sudden we find out that we're going to have the world premiere of the movie Battle Hymn is going to be in Marietta, Ohio. It turns out that Colonel Hess, who was a minister, a pastor in the Air Force, had come from Marietta, and he was a war hero, and Rock Hudson was playing the role of Colonel Hess, and they decided to have the world premiere in Marietta, Ohio.
Nice.
Now, that's really big doings for Marietta. It was not big doings for the cast of Battle Hymn. Mm-hmm. And in fact, there was a lot of grousiness. What are we doing in this burg? I apologize to the people in Marietta, Ohio, if your broadcast gets there. But the truth is that it was kind of a come down from maybe Hollywood or New York City. Anyway, they're there, and I interviewed Rock Hudson for the local TV station at the college. Now, if you don't mind me jumping, I'm going to jump ahead about 40 years.
Go right ahead. It's all yours.
Okay, I wound up doing a guest star, one of the others of the 50 or so or 60, you mentioned 100, but right around there, called Macmillan and Wife.
I remember
and
that show,
Macmillan
yes.
and Wife was with Susan St. James and Rock Hudson.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm from Brooklyn, and your audience and you are going to know that I love to talk, and I've got a pretty big mouth. Now, what happened is that mouth almost killed my career. Here's what happened. I'm on the set with Rock Hudson, and because I had met him 20 or 25 years before, I figured we're buddies. Of course, he probably didn't even remember the whole trip, let alone me. But anyway, I'm on the set, and Rock Hudson was a pretty big guy. He was 6'4" or something like that, and I'm 6'6". Now, on the set, you have stand-ins that stand in the position for the lighting of the scene, so that when you take your position as the actor, you're lit well. Mm-hmm. And I went up with my big mouth. With my big mouth, I went up to Rock Hudson, and I said, "Hey, Rock, you know, you're the only person on the set that's tall as me. Would you mind standing in for me?" Oh, my God. There was a moment of silence, and then everyone around him got silent. Then everyone around the stage got silent. And pretty soon, the whole sound stage was like a tomb. And what probably was 15 or 20 seconds, and it felt like an hour for me, I said to myself internally, "Oh, my God, I just blew my career trying to be a smarty." And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I looked at him, and I must have been sweating profusely by this time. And he looked at me and said, "Sure, no problem." Everybody went, "Ah," and we went on. But it shows you that there's a hierarchy, you know, to the industry. And he was a star. I was a minor guest star on this show. But you got to know, you know, your parameters. You got to know what you can get away with. And I almost didn't make it. So that ties back into going to Marietta College in Marietta, Ohio. Now, I did get a job from Schlumberger, and they're still in business. They're a worldwide oil producing company. And I got the number one job of that year because I was number one in my class. I was a wunderkind. I started off brilliant and kind of slipped slowly into the morass of normalcy. But at the time, I was pretty smart. As I told you, I started at 16 and I was 19, just 19 when I graduated from college with two associate degrees. But the truth is, they sent me to Williston, North Dakota, and that's where your story comes in.
Okay.
So I'm in Williston, North Dakota. A couple things happened. One, I met a DJ, much like you, in radio, who actually gave me my stage name, because my real name is Paul Lee Crowell, Kroll. Mm-hmm. But he said, nobody's going to be able to spell Crowell. They're going to send it C-R-O-W, K-R-O-W. He said, "Let's make you Paul Lee." And I said, "No, wait a minute. If you make me Paul Lee, I'm going to be Chinese and 4'2". And he said, "You're right. You're too big. We'll make you Lee Paul." And that's how I got my name. But I'm in Williston, North Dakota. Can I continue, or do you want to get a word in edgewise?
Absolutely. Keep on going here. You know what? Actually, let's hold the suspense here, and we'll get to that in just a minute. We'll listen to Mike Wagner Show at the MikeWagnerShow.com, powered by Sonic Web Studios. Visit online at SonicWebStudios.com for all your needs. Lincoln professional website without breaking your budget. Sonic Web Studios is the answer. Sonic Web Studios offers fast, affordable, custom web designs that blow the competition away. Call today at 1-800-303-3960. That's 1-800-303-3960. Or email to support@sonicwebstudios.com. Mention the Mike Wagner Show. Get 10% off your first order. Sonic Web Studios. Take your image to the next level. Also, the Mike Wagner Show is brought to you by Evan Fine of the Senior Reserve Group. When you start a business or own a business for a while, who are you going to call for sole proprietorship insurance? Why not call the expert, Evan Fine of Senior Reserve Group. He also specializes in Medicare and long-term care insurance. Evan can be reached at 1-800-650-9357. That's 1-800-650-9357. Or email to evanfine@seniorreservegroup.com. Licensed in 7 states in New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Delaware,